Welcome to the Subtle Secrets of Pranayama, my 30-day challenge. We're on day 19, and today I'm going to continue the conversation about optimizing your ratio breathing. So how your ratio breathing can work a little better for your system, how you can actually, today we're going to look at is more of the functional part of the breath. We'll start getting into the ratios, how to actually work those ratios soon. But, I think my phone might be dying. So if I die in the middle of this, I'll do it again. But I should be fine for Facebook. And this past weekend, I was teaching a lot about interoception. And interoception is the art and practice of noticing the sensations in your body and then making sense of those sensations to apply appropriate adjustments in cognition and behavior in order to listen to the needs of the body. Essentially, interoception is largely unconscious, but there are certain aspects of interoception we can make conscious, and as we do that, it's really incredibly beneficial to the health. Now, this is really important in terms of pranayama, because with pranayama, you need to be constantly listening to those feedback signals from the body as you're doing the practice. Okay, so today for ratio breathing, what I want to talk about is this 3-part breath, right? So belly, then lower ribs, and then upper chest. And one of the things that'll happen, you're welcome to start doing some ratios as I'm talking so you can notice this. So maybe 4 in, 4 out, or 6 in, 6 out, something like that. Very simple. So what you'll notice, you may notice as you do ratios, is you can kind of start and feel an openness in the pelvic floor and feel the belly sort of open. And then as the breath starts to move up, what can happen is you start to, especially with longer ratios, you start to use these tertiary muscles. And that's when the nervous system kicks in with a sympathetic response, right? So if you're using the neck muscles in your breath, you're kind of defeating the purpose. Now, of course, you're going to always be using them a little bit, but it's more of this sensation, this interoceptive sensation that you may feel as you're doing the breath of tension, tightness, or pressure buildup. That sort of feels like it's going like this. So the way to counter that, the way to address that, is to keep feeling the breath expand here in these lower ribs, right? So as you breathe in, feeling 360 degrees here, right? So first pelvic floor and belly, and then that naturally recedes as you move up. So then here in these lower ribs, as you're breathing, you want to keep this stuff as soft as you can. So belly and then ribs. And the breath comes up to the collarbones, but if you're starting to feel this pressure, that's where you want to back off, right? So see if you can do it for 4 or 6 counts. Pelvic floor is soft. Belly, this is on the inhale, belly releases, lower back releases too. See if you can notice that. And then the breath, really kind of feel like a circle around your lower ribs expanding. And it'll naturally come up into the chest, but don't push it there. And then on the exhale, I like to think about the exhale, slide down the banister, let it go. Let's do maybe 2 or 3 more. So breathing into lower belly, softening, relaxing. Pelvic floor, softening the lower back, letting the lower belly naturally move in as you move up towards your ribs and feeling the ribs expand in a circle, kind of more of a cylinder and less upwards. And then it'll naturally come up here and soften. So if you start to feel that creeping feeling of pressure up into the neck muscles, that's when you want to back off. So 1 more of those. Lower belly, pelvic floor, soften. Moving up into the lower ribs, feeling it expand, kind of like a cylinder out. And then moving up to the chest, but softly, and then slide down the banister. And see if you can work with those interoceptive cues, right? So noticing if you're starting to feel pressure in the throat or the neck, that you back off of the ratio. And this will really change the way that you're doing ratios. It'll change your the way that you're, the benefits you're getting from pranayama. Because as you start to lengthen those ratios, which is, kind of the point, is getting those ratios a little bit longer, If you're getting the pressure up in here, it's sending signals to the nervous system to go into a fight or flight response, and that's not what we want to do with the breath at all. I mean, that's exactly the opposite of what we're trying to do with it, right? So I hope this is helpful for you. I really appreciate comments and questions because they let me know that, that this stuff is valuable, or other things you want to add. Yesterday I was talking about keeping the nose clean, and I can't remember who, but somebody left a lovely comment reminding me about using oil in the nose, like a drop of, you can put it on your finger, your nose is clean, and get a drop of oil up into your nose, and that's really nice, especially with in the cool weather season, to keep the membranes moistened. Yeah, so I'll see you tomorrow. I'm not sure where we're going to go. We might go to length and ratios, but I got to think about it a little bit. But I'll see you tomorrow morning. Thanks for being here. Namaste.